Hey, and thank you for clicking play, and also thank you to those who voted on my poll this week. Sounds dodgy, but as of right now, aspect ratio was voted 43%, Amiga gameplay 29%, and GoldenEye Wii controller pack 29%. So it's going to be a video about aspect ratio, and it's one I would have done at some point anyway. And before I get into it, I just want to say, because some of these things, people can really go nuts. You'd think I was asking you to wear a mask or something. But please take this video in the humour with which it is intended. I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to say there is a right way and there is a wrong way. And I'm going to show you the right way when it comes to using the correct aspect ratio on a modern screen for retro gaming. But I'm also going to say, and I'll say this up front, I'm going to show you that that right way is my preference. Preference being the key word. If your preference is not the right way, no one's going to die. No one actually cares. So do whatever you're happiest doing, and I'll say that again at the end. So please do take this video in the right heart. It's going to be fun. Our tools are going to be the A1200. I'm also going to pull out the N64, which is currently over there on a CRT, and we will be using that as well to make a point. This bottle of rum, because why not? And most unexpectedly, this drinks coaster. Why this drinks coaster? Because it's a circle. It's, to all intents and purposes, a circle. And geometry is key to what I'm going to show you right now. Most of the video is going to be tied up on this screen, apart from the bits that aren't. Okay, so first tool we're going to use here is Deluxe Paint. And this really is where we start, and I'm going to use, within Deluxe Paint, I'm also going to use this drinks coaster, which is going to sound strange, but anyway, this is a circle. And I've tried to position the camera so it's as front onto the screen as I can get it. So, you know, just bear with me. And you'll notice that my screen, even though it's a 16:9 screen, I have the aspect ratio set to 4:3. Hence the black bars left and right. Okay, all with me so far? Good. Now this tool over here is the circle tool. It always draws a circle. It's always going to be a circle, okay? And the thing about a circle is the diameter, the radius, the radius, that's the important one, which is the line from the middle to the outer edge, is the same regardless of whether it's to the side, to the bottom, to the top, whatever, okay? That's because it's a circle. If it was an oval, I'm sure we all understand basic geometry. This would not be the case, okay? So let's undo that. And you can only do one undo because it's Deluxe Paint, so I'm going to have to click clear. So why have I got this coaster? Because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around this coaster, okay? I'm going to draw a circle. So I'm going to try and get as centrally, well, it might not be perfect, but I'm going to get as centrally to this coaster as possible. And I'm going to draw out a circle. I've obviously got slightly off. So that's fine. Obviously it wasn't quite center, so I'm going to slide that over till we're pretty much center. It's a circle. Notice whether I go left or right, it extends on all axes, so we know, right. And even notice, even this is, it's actually slightly out, isn't it? You can, I don't know if you're seeing that, how well you're seeing that on the camera, but it's slightly out. There is a little bit of, I'd say, fatness to that image. So even, you know, even me trying to do the best job I can, that's actually slightly out. Okay, but that is the trace of a circle. So watch what happens, right? And I don't know why some people struggle with this. You dumbasses. If I go into my picture settings on my TV. So this is nothing to do with the Amiga right now. And I change aspect ratio. So original is 4:3. Let me just prove that. Let's go back out of there. That's essentially, that should be the same, okay? Because it's taking the original signal and it's going, it's a 4:3 signal. Okay, that's fine. Right, same. If I go into my picture settings and I change this to 16:9, well, guess what? That, and if you can't see that, there's no helping you because you're just blind to basic geometry. Look, the circle, so I haven't changed anything in Deluxe Paint. What I've done is change my TV to say, you know that 4:3 signal you're getting? Ignore that and just stretch the F out of it. And look, you end up with a completely distorted shape. Why do I care so much about this? Well, because I was made to care. Because I did website development. I was a senior developer for a PR agency for the pharmaceutical industry. And the designers would come up with a design. I'd do some funky stuff. And then when I'd have to make their design work on the internet, which back in the 90s was a bit of a challenge because they come up with all this funky stuff and I was one of the few people that could actually make it work. And then we started using Flash, which was a great tool because this was in the days of, do I design for 640 by 480 or 800 by 600 or 1024 by 768? Nobody can tell me. And then Flash came along and guess what? The website design could resize with the browser, which we thought was fantastic, until I showed this to one of the designers and he straight away just shouted at, Scottish guy called Frank, shouted his head off at me, why the heck have you distorted the client's logo? Because that is a massive no-no. Hundreds of thousands of dollars go into what's called corporate branding and branding guidelines, and one thing you don't do is distort an image either in the vertical or the horizontal, and especially corporate logos. It's a massive no-go. Why does it matter in games? Well, look, this is a circle, right? Well, it's not anymore because we've bloody ruined it, haven't we? That was a circle, it's now an oval. Let me bring it back to being the correct shape. Picture 4:3, okay. Right. That's the correct shape. That's a circle, or as close as my Amiga will give us on this screen. 2, a circle. Well, what's a circle? I don't know, a friggin' wheel. So, the next thing you're gonna see is Lotus. Okay, so we're now looking at Lotus, specifically Lotus 1. And the reason why I've chosen Lotus 1 is because, funnily enough, you've got the Lotus down the bottom there. It takes up half the screen, and it's got friggin' wheels. And the friggin' wheels are friggin' round. Bloody hell. So, look, if I just mark this on this hair clip, don't question why I've got a hair clip, all right? Here's the hair clip, and it goes that far on the hair clip on the width, and it should be pretty much, and I'm just doing the wheel itself, not the tire. Oh look, it's the bloody same. So let me just try that again. If I'm an idiot and I don't know how to set up my screen, and I go here, seriously, please do hear my humour. I'm not actually trying to insult people. I am purposely trying to have a bit of a laugh here, but I can't help think, why do people not get this? Look, okay, there's the height. Oh look, it's just over half the width of the wheel. How's he gonna drive anywhere? How's he gonna, it's just gonna be going. Now you may say, Chris, yeah, but what if I'm playing Lotus 2? I'm not even seeing that. This is the point, and going back to my example about those designers and that branding guidelines, and time and effort has gone into putting something, designing something that it looks a certain way, whilst this is set up correctly for a 4:3 screen. Now let's remember, well, I'll talk a bit in a moment about the fact that this isn't true 4:3. We'll get there. But if they've designed this to look a certain way, well, guess what? They've designed the look of the Lotus to look a certain way, and everything about all the graphics to look a certain way. And if we're distorting this, well, we are distorting the designer's intentions here as well. and we are insulting their design. Now, what do we have to talk about here? What we have to talk about, and please let me first put this back because that does my head in. Right, here we go. Drives me crazy, does my head in. I knew where I was. Right. Let's not forget, we've got a big black bar here as well, which nobody seems to care about. What that is because obviously PAL and NTSC have got a different amount of pixel height. I can't remember the details, look it up for yourself. And so essentially developers got a bit lazy and they designed for the NTSC, which has the lower pixel height. So in NTSC land, I believe, am I right in saying basically that ends up looking stretched? I don't know, I can't think how it works. But basically, this is the height, the pixel height that we have in PAL land, and this is the pixel height that they have in NTSC land. That does give you another option. And look, I want to give you an out here. If you really want to stretch an image like this, look out on your television, and unfortunately this one doesn't do it quite enough, for an option called zoom. And let me show you what that looks like. So what zoom is doing is it isn't stretching it. Now, how do we know it isn't stretching it? See how that's pretty much filling the screen width-wise? It isn't stretching it. Let's just double check. So that is up to there on the... There my wife's all right. Flipping heck. That's up to there on that. And it's the same, pretty much. Maybe a little bit out. But it's certainly closer than it was before. So what this is doing, rather than stretching the image, it's actually stretching both the horizontal and the vertical. So where this TV falls down, but yours might not, is if I had the option on the TV to slide that image down, well, guess what? I could make this game fill the screen and it wouldn't actually be distorted. So that's a sort of idiosyncrasy to how some of the Amiga PAL into NTSC or NTSC into PAL, whatever, games work. So do keep that in mind. Let's have a look next at the Nintendo 64. Okay, so we're in the Nintendo corner, and we've got the N64 running on a CRT, so I do apologise to all the epileptics that have just fallen on the floor, but basically this is... How do you... That's not right. How do you... I used to love this. Anyway, there's a guy who's going to shoot me. Look, this is 4x3 on a 4x3 CRT, and it looks right, okay? This guy over here, let's have a look at him. He looks pretty much normal, other than the fact that I've put it on easy and he's oblivious to my existence. However, let's go into the menu. And in fact, I'm going to move you closer so that you can see this. Okay, looking at the screen, I've managed to minimize the flicker of this close-up shot as best I can. And I hope you can see what I'm going to show you. So I've gone into the menu and I'm just going to go across to, we've got some screen options, and down the bottom, oh, what the hell's that? What the hell is that? Oh, look, it's the ability to change, and I've done it wrong, the aspect ratio from normal to 16:9, because the Nintendo 64 came out in an interesting crossover where most of us, because we were poor, had 4x3 screens like this, but 16:9 or wide screens were starting to come out. They were starting to become a thing. So we can actually change it on here to 16:9. Oh, okay. But if I now come out back into the game, well, now look, that guy has suddenly grown 3 feet. He's stretched towards the sky, as has everything else. So let's have a look at the N64, and it's going to look crap because the N64 really does look crap on an LCD screen, which is why I've got it plugged into the CRT. Let's have a look at why that option exists on the other screen. Okay, so we are in GoldenEye. The screen, the TV itself is set to 16:9, okay. But the game is looking, oh, look at poor Natalia! What happened to Natalia? I used to have a thing for Natalia. Every time my wife plays GoldenEye, she plays Natalia. Now I'm going to have to divorce her because she looks too chubby. Right, nothing against people that are overweight, by the way. I'm just saying, oh dear, only Ricky Gervais can get away with this kind of stuff. So, let's go into, we're going to go select mission, we're going to pick a thing, and I'm just going to go back there, all right? So this is on the flat. Man, it looks so bad. Seriously, there is a place for CRTs, and when you plug in an N64, you find it. Let's start there. And look, that brings me onto another point. Look, I'm doing retro gaming wrong by using an LCD, but partially it's out of preference for filming. So look, I'm not saying I'm any better than anybody else by going with a preference. Some people would say using a flat screen is wrong, and they're correct, but this is my preference. Nobody's gonna die. Before we correct it, let's look at our guy. Hopefully he'll still be oblivious to our existence. Yeah, there he is. There he is. Right, and he's looking pretty chill. He's put some weight on, and it only took me, what, 2 minutes to move the Nintendo 64 to this desk. And he's serious, he's been at the pies. Right, let's look at my watch, and let's just come in here, go down to aspect ratio, change aspect ratio to 16:9. Oh look, he's normal again. So what's happening here? We're on a 16:9 screen. So rather than on the Amiga, my only option is to stretch the image or keep it original. Here, the N64, because it was at that cusp, it's given me the option to either output a 4:3 signal or a 16:9 to essentially correct the image if you're using a widescreen TV. Notice that word, correct. But most critically, and I've saved this till last because I think it's the most compelling argument, what if you're playing MariaWhitaker's Xmas box strip poker? Now, this is 4:3 on a 16:9 screen, and I've kept it 4:3. Now, poor Maria, back in a heyday, and look, don't take that wrong, Maria, if you ever watch this, I'm sure you still look stunning to this day, but there would have been effort to go into maintaining a certain figure, and that is a skill in its own right, and she was gorgeous, is gorgeous. She was and is gorgeous. Now, look what happens if we make poor Maria here, who's foregoing the cream puffs and is going out on a weekly jog and doing our hardest to look absolutely stunning for our Barbarian posters, which we all covet, and which I'm still trying to buy one for over £100. But what if we've taken her 4:3 output from the Amiga and we've made it 16:9? That is not the figure that Maria was doing her best to achieve. It's not right. You know it's not right. I know it's not right. This entire video is not right. So I think it's time we had some more rum and wrapped up. So look, I hope you took that within the humour with which it was intended, and you had a bit of fun, but I also hope you learned something. There is a right and a wrong way, but whichever way is your preference is absolutely fine. Like I said at the beginning, no one's going to die. For me, if the game is designed for 4:3, I'm going to view it in 4:3. These black bars don't exist. This is the size of my television set, and I don't find it hard to get my head around that concept. If you do get put off by those black bars and that ruins your gaming experience, then of course, you know, do it the wrong way. That's absolutely fine. You know, don't let me stop you from being a blithering idiot. But at the end of the day, you've got to do whatever makes you happy. So if stretching 4:3 to 16:9 makes you happy, then go ahead. Go ahead and stretch Maria until she's the same size as your mum.